Hi guys, welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today we are going to attempt to freeze dry SweetTarts, and I do think they did something. They're a little bit puffier, they're a little more airy and less hard to chew, so let's go. Okay, to do this, I'm just gonna use the candy button here and leave all of the settings as they are. I'm gonna hit start, and it needs about 15 minutes to kind of prepare, so we're gonna shut the door and latch it and wait 15 minutes to load our trays. I'm gonna use my silicone mats and my little dividers for the candy. It just makes it easier to kind of separate. I only bought one box of SweetTarts because I wanted to try these out to see if they worked, and I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on SweetTarts if they weren't gonna work. But I did read that the chewy versions definitely work in the freeze dryer, but I also read that Smarties, which are basically the same kind of consistency, do something fun in the freeze dryer. So a guy from work wanted me to try SweetTarts, so we're gonna try SweetTarts. So I'm gonna put one in each little box, and then whatever space we have left over in the other trays, I'm just gonna do more Nerds gummy clusters because these are probably my favorite. I just love how they turn out after being freeze dried. So let me load up these trays and then we'll get them in the machine. All right, it is ready to go, so we're gonna open the door. I have found that on my machine, the bottom tray doesn't freeze dry things as well, so they just don't get as puffed up. And when I do different things like vegetables, I just go a little bit longer because the bottom tray is never done at the same time as these. So you just have to kind of figure out your machine. But we got 3 whole trays of SweetTarts out of that one box. Oh, and I have a double right there. Snack for me. So we'll get these loaded. Close our door nice and tight. Close the valve in the back. Hit continue, and then it does this pre-warming step, and I haven't quite figured out what to do because it either says end batch or skip, but it never really counts down. So I've just been skipping it. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. But it's gonna go ahead and work for 4 hours here, and we'll see what happens. Okay, our freeze dryer says that it is done, so I'm gonna open the valve to vent it. And then we'll unlock. Now you can definitely see that the Nerds candy has puffed up like crazy, and I wish I would have saved one of these from the start, but I do think they look puffier than when I put them in. So let's give it a try. They're a little more like aerated. Yeah, they did something. All right, let's go jar these up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jar these up. I like to just use mason jars and then a mason jar vacuum seal. It's just easy. So again, I do think these puffed up. I really wish I would have saved one, but they definitely look kind of like taller, and they definitely have kind of an airier texture. They're not as hard to chew on. So I think it was kind of a fun little experiment. They're not my favorite, but I do think they worked. So the easiest way I find is just to remove the separator and then kind of fold the silicone mat and dump them in with a canning funnel. Okay, I clearly overestimated the amount of space I would need, so I went and grabbed a smaller jar. If this one doesn't work, we'll just use the pint jar, but perfect. So I'm just gonna put the lid on, and then we'll add the vacuum sealer to the top and hit go. I really like these silicone mats because sometimes candy can get pretty sticky, and it just makes removing them from the tray and cleanup a lot easier. I've actually thrown these in the dishwasher even, and they clean right up. But for now, we'll just throw them in the sink and give them a good wash. So yeah, that is our little experiment with SweetTarts. I do think they did something, so we'll just close this up and have a little treat. Always a favorite are these Nerd gummy clusters, so I've really enjoyed kind of playing with different candies. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel to subscribe for more content like this, and I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks guys. Bye.